So this is probably the start of another episode that I'll probably touch more on later, but to start with, we are going to be dealing with continuing on with our talk of the animations, with the sun animation. I've added a bunch more light objects. I've done more tweaking of the light groups. Anyway, so the main thing we're going to be doing with is making sure our sun does not go all zippy across the sky. Actually, this might be part of a pre-existing episode. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. Anyway, so Edernabri, I've got my state descriptions here. You'll notice that essentially I've got two when you iterate an SDL. My first version of my SDL looked like this. It was state desk, Edernabri, version 1, ath, stay night, 01 for the day night, age time of day. That is a mistake. May have been a mistake. I don't know if it was the mistake, but it was one of the contributing factors I troubleshooted when it came to dealing with the pod day-night cycle being weird, with Nabri's day-night cycle being weird. But you'll notice in the second version, I changed that to Nabri time of day to match age time of day. That's just me being cautious. But anyway, I'm going to copy that from the Nabri SDL. And I'm going to be using that as a basis for my SDL for the pod. So I'm going to go paste. There we go. And of course, it doesn't match my age data at all. So if I go here and if I copy my name here, and then I'll go pod 12, state desk, pod 12, and then I'm going to change this to version 1. Now, I'm not at present planning to have any toggleable variables in the age. I will cover that in its own tutorial, but essentially I will probably just leave these. I am going to be ending up having a clothing reward, so I'm gonna leave. I'm going to leave the reward clothing SDL in here. And I'm going to rename one of these just for the lols of it. Yeesh page IDK. This just for lols. Viz. Will this place have a Yeesha page? Will it not? I don't know yet. I mean, it might. But you might have to explore just to find it. But anyway, so if in the hypothetical case that I have a Yeesha Relto page somewhere in this age, I need an SDL variable to have it be toggleable on and off. And so that variable would be what I would name it. That's a bit of a long name. I'm going to rename this page pod mystery. I don't know what number it'd be. I just put a number there. Book viz. Will there be book visuals that are going to be toggleable? I don't exactly plan on that, but you can never be too far out of the range of expectations, so I will be putting in unknown book viz 1. Maybe we'll have a book that can be toggleable on and off. We shall see. And then finally, the main thing I'm going to do here is set this to pod 12 time of day. And so that's that, basically. When we save it, we now have an SDL file for, I don't know if the epoch or the day length is right. That doesn't matter. We will get to that later. But for now, 30 is a good time to start with. Anyway, so you'll notice here that I've got one of my sun lamps here that I have added. And it has an animation to it. So I'm going to name this pod 12 time of day. And I need to type this in exactly with every lamp that I'm going to be having set to that particular lamp. So if you'll notice here, I've got a couple of lamps here. So we've got my main sun lamp. I'm going to type that in here. I'm going to go to my ambient sun lamps. And boom. Now, in the future, if I know what that name of that book will be, I would do a version 2. And if I know what the Ayesha page number would be, I would put in the number, and that would be version 2, and that would be a new iteration of the SDL. You cannot alter an existing SDL by once you submit to a server. You need to commit to doing new versions every time. The reason for that is that if you don't and you change everything, the server's not going to know what the heck you're talking about, basically. It's going to get all confused because you're going to have things in the age that are referencing things that are in the SDL that it still thinks you're on version 1, basically. So you need to keep iterating the versions, because if you don't keep iterating the versions, it just causes a lot of data confusion, and basically it's just very good code keeping to have your SDL variables multiply as you add new variable versions as you add things. If you're changing something, you change your variable. If you add something, you change your variable. You don't have to do this every time you do an export, but when you're adding something to the SDL or you're changing something, so like if I do a new clothing item, reward, I don't know, what should I call it? Reward swim trunks viz. Well, now we have the version 1 that'll have swim trunks. But if I want to add another clothing item, like say if I want to do a jacket, and I've already, exported this and whatnot. So if I copy all of that, gosh darn it. Yeah, this is animation stuff. It's getting, yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to change this to version 2. I don't want to cancel this yet. Version 2, and then I'm going to copy and paste, and I'm going to change this new one that I've gotten to reward mystery clothing. I don't know what it'll be yet. So, but now you see how this progression changes, right? Right? You see how this works? Now, I'm not gonna actually keep that in here yet because this is still version 1, and I am not ready to iterate my SDL yet, but that's basically what you're going to be doing when you're iterating your SDL. When you add something or when you change it, that's basically what you need to do with your SDLs. Right, how to open an SDL, when you're doing a text file, you want to go over to your little thing here, that's text editor, which is what we're in now, and you'll see here we've got the pod 12 SDL. The way to create a new text file is simply create a new text file, and then this one, which I'm not putting in yet, is going to be pod 12 research, pod 12 journal. Now I'm getting that ready right now when I don't need to, but that's just basic. But yeah, now I can swap between the two of them, etc., etc. Okay, we've covered the text editor called the SDL, and we covered the animation stuff. So let's see this pod 12 time of day thing actually be put into use. Objects and ages that do not exist. Okay, that is, of course. Okay, so basically what happened here is I had to recopy in things from Vertigo, and needless to say, yeah, it carried over the old data. including linked lights, including all sorts of things. So yeah, we want to make sure that all of our things, even though I am legitimately not actively going to even though I'm not, I don't want all these in the pod page specifically. Yeah, I need to, at the very least, put them in a page, and I will sort out the page sorting later. Basically, make sure you put all your stuff in your right pages, because otherwise it's not gonna work. Yeah. Yep. All of these. Tedious. I still have not edited all of the previous videos that I've already recorded. I literally have not started editing on that. I was literally getting carried away with my editing, and I realized, oh crap, I'm getting into stuff I need to cover. So, yeah, you're getting a video several days in the future, or maybe the past even, I don't know. Several days in the future compared to the rest of the videos that I've already done. Yeah, okay, so. Okay, save, and now let's What do you mean I have objects in page that do not exist? Garden. Okay. I'm just gonna have to go through everything and make sure I got everything, because I'm pretty... Actually, the easiest way to make sure that I get all my pages in a row, just make sure, let's see what orphan data I have. Materials? Yeah. Okay. Let us, purge all of the orphan data. Make sure that I'm getting everything that needs to be purged. Because, yeah, stupidly, when I was importing things from Nabry, it copied over a whole bunch of stuff that Well, anyway, let's try that again. Make sure I got all that. Did I purge all my miscellaneous objects? Of course not. I mean, which object are in pages that are, I'm trying to catch that. Current scene. Okay, I'm just gonna have to go through all of these and see if I can find any objects that are in a page that does not exist, which is a lot of objects. It really shouldn't be in there, but we'll see. Found it. They were the hands. Because I mistypoed them SM Ches stat instead of SML Ches stat. So all of my hands, the most random hands for the statues, ended up being, not where they need to be. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be everything, because I just went through everything. It's going to be real embarrassing if it turns out that I missed it again, right? Yep, objects in page that do not exist, even though I checked through everything. Good grief. Not just the only one, then. So, that did the trick. Once I fixed everything, and then I just had to reboot Blender. That was it. I rebooted Blender, and now it exported. So yeah, that was the issue. I was dealing with a stale reference. Ooh. Well, this is a little annoying. Some of my textures are not playing nice. But that's because it's the middle of the night, apparently, now. So yeah, we can't see anything because we have our day-night cycle set to midnight, basically. Yippee! How fun. So, yeah, I'm gonna mess around with whatever's making you, invisible. And I'll also have to put in a collision block to keep... have to move that book and statue closer so it's not causing a bounce like that. But yeah, okay, so, yeah. We are now, at the totally wrong time of day to actually even see anything. Even though we've, gone to all the trouble to put in a day-night cycle. Our day-night is, well, let's just put it this way. Our nighttime is very dark. And that's not gonna do. That's not gonna do at all. Let's do a quick thing to fix that, shall we? So, what am I gonna do to fix that? Let's bring up my sun here. Actually, no, I'm gonna lower that back down. Let's go to midnight. Let us... Tools. I'm gonna duplicate this sun lamp that I did here. And, you know, this lamp is presently rotated like so. Let's, bring that more down to a point. And then we're gonna do the exact opposite of what it's already animated to do. So, we're gonna go to the brightest point in the day, which is frame 60. And we're gonna set this to pitch black. And then that changes the layer. We're gonna go to our darkest hour. We're gonna shift this to a faint blue. Yeah, that's two. Now I'm gonna make sure that I get this. Print screen. There we go. Boop. Because when we go back to here, yep. So this is 0.291. 289, was that it? 289, and then 0.538. 538. And now we have that. I'm gonna do I. And then I'm going to Alt-I, remove our keyframes from there we go. So I'm going to add in some new keyframes. Mostly just to give this the oomph it needs. There we go. So, now I've added this light. And that means during the middle of the night, we will have a nice pale glow. Or at least that's the intent. That should be perfect for what we need to do to see by. And so, let's export that again. And with this, we should be able to see again. Okay, one last addendum. I figured out why the statues were, not working right. So you see this little flag here? Force RT lighting? That was imported from Nabry. Now, that works when you have a light that is being affected by day-night cycles, but when you have an object that is supposed to be shadeless and is supposed to be a light source itself, like these crystals are, well, that's not going to work out so well. And now if I go through and export this again, it'll look right. Sorry for this random cut in the middle of the episode. This is the last thing to record, I promised. Then I'm going to get to editing all of this. I have no idea how many episodes this is going to be. It may be one episode, it may be a whole bunch. I don't know. I haven't gone to editing yet. See? It's because I missed the arms there. I missed getting the arms there, and I'm going to need to put a little block there at the ground to keep people from getting stuck. And, yeah, I need to put in new wooding thing, because it wasn't working out right when I moved the thing to get things lined up, right? Yeah, look at that. Now it's nighttime in here. Somehow. Yeah. That's the main little issue that I missed somehow. Strange ceiling shadows. Not sure what that's about. Yeah, I missed the texture on that one, I'll bet. But yeah, once I get all the lighting in, you know. Yeah, that book's not set up right. Anyway, once I get all the lighting in, once I get the pod's interior decorated more, it'll start looking better at night. And, you know, the extra day-night stuff going on in here. I'll probably end up just, changing it up so the inside of the pod has its own lighting separate from the day-night cycle. But for the moment, it's all nice and dark in here. But yeah, I need to fix that. Otherwise, it's looking pretty good, though, I think. But yeah, anyway. That's it for this episode. Our intermission. Anyway, let me go fix those arms. Real quick. Yep. Aha, there we go. Force real-time lighting. Turn those off. Now it's safe. Now it's all gonna be glowy and not like that. And yeah, not sure why that was showing up lit up like that. I may have to do some lighting work on some of these things. But okay, that's it. Well, that's a bit purpley and bright, but it serves our methods well enough. We have successfully put in a day. Oh, but there's that sun zipping by, because you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to go to our animation object, current scene, sun anim empty, and we forgot to give this its SDL variable. Pod 12, time of day. That's exactly what we forgot to do. And now, if we export that again, this time we will actually see what time of day it is supposed to be. It's probably going to be the middle of the night, but, At least we won't have the sun zipping over our heads like a maniac. Eh? Always make sure you get all of your objects into the right day-night cycle section. Now, this purple is probably way too bright for what we need. I mean, look at this. It's like an alien landscape. And while I like that, it's not doing the job it needs to do. Out of curiosity, where is our sun? Yep, dead below us, middle of the night. We are effectively at midnight. So, yeah. This means a whole lot of things, but primarily what it means is, yeah, well, at least we can see what we're doing at night, which is always a good thing. Why did I make this solid? I'm not supposed to be down here. Why is this solid? And I'm stuck on the rock. So yeah, we now have something resembling a day-night cycle working. Yeah, okay, I think that'll be it for the night. Oopsie. Now see, this is what happens when you have little patches of geometry that are set to their own little unique thing and are not reacting to the lighting the way you want it to. Because you didn't set them to react to their lighting. Now the fun bit begins. This cave just peters off into darkness. And yeah. I can't see a thing. Although my Avi is lit up decidedly very bright, which is not at all what I'm wanting to happen. I don't know what's happening there. My Avi should not be bright. But it is late, and I have already fiddled around with this age enough for the night, so, you know, I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you for watching, and all of that jazz, even the smooth jazz. Yeah, gotta deal with this. I gotta smooth out the edges there and there, and Anyway, yeah. Have a good night. And let's actually end all this so I can actually edit all this now. Oh, for crying out loud. Shora B'Shemte. Have a good night, all.